Welcome, fourth graders, to Chapter 6 of Sideways Stories from Wayside School. Chapter 6, BB. BB was a girl with short brown hair, a little BB nose, totally tiny toes, and big brown eyes. Her full name was BB Gunn. She was the fastest draw in Mrs. Jewell's class. Excuse me. She could draw a cat in less than 45 seconds, a dog in less than 30, and a flower in less than 8 seconds. But, of course, BB never drew just one dog, or one cat, or one flower. Art was from 12:30 to 1:30. While in that time she could draw 50 cats, 100 flowers, 20 dogs, and several eggs, or watermelons. It took her the same amount of time to draw a watermelon as an egg. Calvin sat next to BB. He didn't think he was very good at art. Why? It took him the whole period just to draw one airplane. So instead, he just helped BB. He was BB's assistant. As soon as BB would finish one masterpiece, Calvin would take it from her and set down a clean sheet of paper. Whenever her crayon ran low, Calvin was ready with a new crayon. That way, BB didn't have to waste any time. And in return, BB would draw 5 or 6 airplanes for Calvin. It was 12:30. Time for art. BB was ready. On her desk was a sheet of yellow construction paper, and her hand was a green crayon. Calvin was ready. He held a stack of paper and a box of crayons. "Ready, BB?" said Calvin. "Ready, Calvin," said BB. "Okay," said Mrs. Jules. "Time for art." She had hardly finished her sentence when BB had already drawn a picture of a leaf. Calvin took it from her, and put another piece of paper down. "Red," called BB. Calvin handed BB a red crayon. "Blue," called BB. He gave her a blue crayon. They were quite a pair. Their teamwork was remarkable. BB drew pictures as fast as Calvin could pick up the old paper and set down the new. A fish, an apple, 3 cherries. Bing, bing, bing. At 1:30, Mrs. Jules announced, "Okay, class, art is over." BB dropped her crayon and fell over on her desk. Calvin sighed, leaned back in his chair. He could hardly move. They had broken their old record. BB had drawn 378 pictures. They lay in a pile on Calvin's desk. Mrs. Jules walked by. "Calvin, did you draw all these pictures?" Calvin laughed. "No, I can't draw. BB drew them all." "Well, then what did you draw?" asked Mrs. Jules. "I didn't draw anything," said Calvin. "Why not? Don't you like art?" asked Mrs. Jules. "I love art," said Calvin. "That's why I didn't draw anything." Mrs. Jules did not understand. "It would have taken me the whole period just to draw one picture," said Calvin. "And BB would have been able to draw 100 pictures. But with the two of us working together, she was able to draw 378 pictures. That's a lot more art." BB and Calvin shook hands. "No," said Mrs. Jules. "That isn't how you measure art. It isn't how many pictures you have, but how good the pictures are. Why, a person could spend his whole life just drawing one picture of a cat. In that time, I'm sure BB could draw 1,000,000 cats." 2,000,000, said BB. Mrs. Jules continued, "But if that one picture is better than each of BB's 2,000,000, then that person has produced more art than BB." BB looked as if she was going to cry. She picked up all the pictures from Calvin's desk and threw them in the garbage. Then she ran from the room. "I thought her pictures were good," said Calvin. He reached into the garbage pail and took out a crumpled up picture of an airplane. BB walked outside into the playground. Louis, the art teacher, spotted her. "Where are you going?" he asked. "I'm going home to draw a picture of a cat," said BB. "Will you bring it to school and show it to me tomorrow?" Louis asked. "Tomorrow?" laughed BB. "By tomorrow, I doubt if I'll even be finished with one whisker. And that was Chapter 6, BB. Thanks for listening, fourth graders. Hope you enjoyed this chapter. Now please go to Seesaw, add a response, and please make sure that you answer one of the 3 questions. Please make sure that you answer, tell me your favorite moment in Chapter 6. Why do you like Chapter 6? And if you think that BB is a good friend to Calvin because she was getting Calvin to help her with her art. And what do you think of BB as a character? Do you like her? What do you think of her? I want your opinion on BB for the last question. Please answer one of them, make a video, or add a note. Thanks for watching, fourth graders.